my ethos and my motto in life is always, I want to live my life like a candle, shine in the light for those who are in their very weak and the darkest moment of hour. So I want to give that light to them. So I actually felt that the people in Gaza in such a desperate situation, so I have to go and help. How one human can kill another human, can go to sleep at night in peaceful? It's impossible. You cannot. If you are human, if you have a soul, you cannot kill, rape, tortured, execute another human being and live a peaceful life. It is impossible. It's not possible. Impossible. This is why, if you look back the statistics from the Israeli side, they have seen a lot of their own soldiers have taken their own lives. They have a serious post-traumatic stress disorder, suicide rate. You look at, they do not release this to the public, but these are the fact. These are the fact of the matter. Sometime at night, I look up into the sky and I ask, how can we ever believe in life hereafter? Ever face our Creator, that knowing that we have not done anything to save the another human beings, because what is going in Gaza is worse than Holocaust. And these are like execution, sometimes bullet, pointed so, so so clear, bullet wound through and through. This is execution type, and especially when you see young children, like 4, 5, 6-year-old children are being shot in the head, in the torso. These are all injuries in line, inconsistent with the execution. They are pure execution. These
Okay.
execution type injuries. They tell you to go from A to B, B to C, C to D. As they leave, they shoot. They said, oh, this is not safe, go to safe zone B. They go there, then they shoot you.
Take the first step towards online privacy. Get NordVPN.
When tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes a duty. So said Thomas Jefferson. Go to bit.ly/lawful tax protest or bit.ly/make-war-history and find out why it is a criminal offence to pay central government or local government taxes in the UK. bit.ly/lawful tax protest or bit.ly/make-war-history. Hi everybody, I am joined by Dr. Hiron Fernando. We're going to be talking about the situation in Gaza. Now, before I introduce him, please subscribe, follow me on Twitter, CryptoRichYT, join my official Telegram announcements channel. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please come and support my work on Rumble, on X, and on Odyssey. And this is because I'm shadow banned on YouTube. Hi, Dr. Hiron. Thank you so much for making yourself available.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, thank you. And you were referred to me by a very, very good friend of mine, whom I've known for many, many years, because you are a doctor and you've just come back from Gaza where you were doing some medical work.
Yes.
Do you want to say what kind of doctor are you?
Yeah, so I'm a urologist with a lot of experience in general surgery and trauma surgery. So that's pretty much what it is. But if you look back in a place like Gaza, urological work is very limited. These are more elective. So most of the work what I have done was involve emergency surgery. So with my general surgical background, it had helped me to carry out all the emergency work.
Right, okay, thank you. Now, before I continue, I have to tell you, I already have an idea about this conversation, which is that I'm going to get upset. Right? Some people say to me, Rich, what you do as a child protection social worker, I couldn't do that. And okay, I think what you do, what I think you've done, I couldn't do that, definitely. Right? But it's really, really important work. So thank you for that. Now, before I continue any further, I do want to say, if there's anybody here who's watching and who's connected to anybody in the anti-war movement, whether it's the conflict in the Middle East or the conflict in Eastern Europe, I want to point you to bit.ly/make-war-history, bit.ly/make-war-history. There is a very simple process, which is free to follow, whereby you can get a free trust form, a conditional revocable trust, send it to any tax collecting authority in the UK, don't send them any money, pointing out that the International Criminal Court Act 2001 and the Terrorism Act 2000 make it a criminal offence to in any way fund or facilitate genocide, war crimes, crimes against humanity, and acts of terrorism. Whether you agree with what happened in Gaza is genocide or not, according to British statute, it is. And the British government is breaking its own laws
Yes.
by funding that. And if I fund that and I have reasonable cause to believe that that's going to be used for killing people in Gaza, in Yemen, in Ukraine, then I'm breaking the law. So bit.ly/make war history.
Yeah.
Thank you, Doctor. I put that in pretty much all
Thank
my
you.
videos. You're so welcome.
Yes.
Why? When did you go to Gaza and why?
Yeah. So it's all started back in I think January time when the war broke out. Of course, I'm a revered Muslim, and of course, my passion and my love for Islam and the Muslims in world or humanity as a whole is very much. I mean, this is why what we do, we do. So basically, after 7th of October, there was the war started. And then, of course, I asked myself, I've been blessed with so much of skills and experience. So if I can't use my experience, what God has given me, then it will be a shame, because this is the time that God tests us and see what we can do for those who are suffering. Because my ethos and my motto in life is always, I want to live my life like a candle, shine in the light for those who are in their very weak and the darkest moment of hour. So I want to give that light to them. So I actually felt that the people in Gaza in such a desperate situation, so I have to go and help. So I have reached out to quite a lot of organization, and it was very difficult to get in because there was nothing in place. So finally, I managed to get through one organization. So we went
Which organization was
in
this?
April.
Which
This was in Fajr Scientific. Fajr Scientific.
Fajr Scientific. They're an organization that.
Fajr Scientific. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So we went in April, and it was very difficult, but Alhamdulillah, we managed to get there. And uh, so when we got there, that is the time when the Philadelphia corridor, the Rafah border, was open. So that was at the early phase of the war. So it was not as brutal as what is happening now, because by then the Philadelphia corridor was untouched. Then towards the end, after about, I think it was started in, I think, August or so, if I haven't mistaken it, when they invade the Rafah border and took over. That is where they flatten. You probably have seen beautiful sort of a symbol. It says "We love Gaza." It was created that we have taken so many photographs there. So all that was demolished by the Israelis when they invaded Gaza. So that's pretty much was my driving force to go there.
Okay, so thank you, Dr. Hiran. Just something I want to interrupt. So the Philadelphia border connects Rafah to Egypt. Is that
Correct?
Yeah,
Correct.
okay. For people who don't know. And then I want to go back to something you said about humanity, where you got moved,
Yeah.
you were choked up, and I was moved as well, right? Which is that as a doctor, you'll treat any human being. As a social worker, I will go into any family where I think there's child abuse going on, regardless of creed or color or whatever. And one of the things that I don't many people don't realize is Palestinians aren't just Muslim. Palestinians are Christian. Palestinians are Palestinians are Druze. They're all sorts of people. They're human beings.
Yes. This is not about religion versus religion. This is about humanity versus evil.
Yes.
What we are fighting is evil. And those who supporting, they said they have a right and all that. What they're supporting is pure evil. This is my biggest dilemma that I cannot understand. Anyone who has a mustard seed of humanity should see this clearly. This is not about religion against religion. This is about humanity versus absolute pure evil.
Yeah.
It is as simple as that.
Yeah. I am no better or no worse than any other human being. And so it's not for me to pass judgment on another human being such that that person's life is extinguished. That's God's call, not my call. And we got to find a way of resolving our issues through jaw, not war. Good, not have that available as an option. Okay, so thank you. I just wanted to put that in because this isn't a Muslim Jewish thing. This is a stand for peace and for taking care of all. Because when a soldier kills another, I believe it harms the soldier who does the killing. They lose their own.
Of course, Rich. It is. I do not know how a human. Okay, forget about anything else. How one human can kill another human, can go to sleep at night in peaceful. It's impossible. You cannot. If you are a human, if you have a soul, you cannot kill, rape, tortured, execute another human being and live a peaceful life. It is impossible. It's not possible. Impossible. This is why, if you look back the statistics from the Israeli side, they have seen a lot of their own soldiers have taken their own lives. They have a serious post-traumatic stress disorder, suicide rate. You look at, they do not release this to the public, but these are the fact. These are the fact of the matter. Look at that brave U.S. soldier. What's his name? Bushner. I forgot his name. He set fire to himself. Why? Because that reminiscence of what he had witnessed going on, he could not take anymore. He took his own life. This is the reality. People need to understand this. This is the reality.
We can only deny others' humanity by denying our own.
Correct. This is exactly, you hit the nail. Exactly that it is. You can't take someone's right and the humanity and the dignity and thinking that you will go ahead and live. Impossible. Impossible. Even if you don't believe in any religion or anything, it just, anyone who has a mustard seed of humanity, it's not possible to go and take away someone's privileges, someone's basic human rights away and thinking that you can go ahead and live. Impossible. It's not possible.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not possible.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. So then you arrived in Gaza.
Yeah.
Obviously, you'd take a sabbatical from work because you're not being paid,
correct,
right? By your current employer. So you arrive in Gaza. Yeah. So how did you arrive? Where did you arrive? What happened? Talk us through it.
So we flew from London to Cairo. Then from Cairo we went through the Rafah border to Gaza.
Okay. And you didn't have any issues with the Egyptian authorities or the Gaza authorities letting you through?
Yes, we had issues. I must say that Egyptians are complicit in this war, just like Jordanian. No doubt about that. They're absolute complicit in this war. In fact, when we went there, we had about 16 suitcases of medical supplies, all medicine, donations, and some of the medicine we bought. The immigration personnel who was at the border asked bribe. They said, "How do I know you are not going to sell this medicine in black market?" I said, "Brother, why do we come from UK to here to sell these things?" So fortunately, Alhamdulillah, we managed to get in touch with our organization. They spoke to somebody. Eventually, they told the person there to let us go. So otherwise he would have taken bribe from us to go through. So that was the first harsh reality, how people have made the money out of Gaza. People, this breaks my heart. I cry at night. I can't come to terms and to quite comprehend what is going on, how a human can make money out of someone's suffering. How can you do that? How can I see another person is suffering, dying, starving, and I think that as opportunity to make money out of it and preying on it? I mean, Rishi, I lost the faith in humanity very much. Today I sit here and I ask, sometime at night I look up into the sky and I ask, how can we ever believe in life hereafter, ever face our Creator, that knowing that we have not done anything to save the another human beings? Because what is going in Gaza is worse than Holocaust, and in fact, they are carrying out the genocide in the name of the Holocaust, which is absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. So this is what it. So it was very difficult. So we managed to get through, and we went fine. There was no issue afterwards. So, but there were some colleagues who went there with stuff, and it was confiscated at the by Egyptian. They did not allow them to go in unless they bribe. Even to this day, still it's the same. To take things inside, you still have to. If you have a large quantity of medicine, they ask you bribe, or they will confiscate it, one or the other.
Okay, all right. So you get through in April. You get through the border.
Yeah.
Then where did you go? What happened?
Then we were staying in a hotel for a few days. We had purchased some most medicine and stuff, and then we all had a pre-departure meeting at the WHO headquarters in Cairo, and from there we went to Gaza.
Okay, all right. So then once you're in Gaza, what happened? Where did you go?
Yeah, so we had a safe house there, which is not very far from the European Gaza hospital, and then from there we used to go. So it is also, there's a lot of, you have to do a lot of collaboration between the Coast Guard and the safe house and the hospital. You can't just drive through, because there are, you have to coordinate with the Coast Guard via the Coast Guard is the admin branch of the IDF.
Right.
So you go from the safe house into point B, you stop there, you have to wait until they give the coordination and clearance to go from B to the hospital. One point, our driver forgot to stop at B, he drove straight through. That day, we could have been blown off completely, because they could have easily said, this is not a vehicle that carrying doctors. This is probably Hamas. They could have blown us off. So it was a very, very fortunate and a very lucky escape. But we could have been really. It was a mistake, but this is what had happened sometimes. If you look back, some of the healthcare workers who have died, and you probably remember those who had the World Kitchen who were blown into pieces. Yeah, and they were always come up with this ridiculous excuse. It was all targeted. Israel used every single opportunity, every single target, every single available opportunity to target and kill anyone they come in their way. This is the reality. People don't understand it, but this is the reality.
Right. And so you had contact with the IDF. What was that like? How did that happen? How did they treat you?
No, I didn't. We did not have any. No, we did not have any contact with IDF. No,
Okay.
We did not personally have any contact with IDF.
Right.
It's all done through the UN. Our organization do not. Yeah. So the way how it works is the WHO, UN. UN is what do the coordination. That the WHO is the one that lies with the Coast Guard.
Okay, I got it. I understand. Okay, all right. So then you arrive at a hospital. Were you at the same hospital all the time you were there?
Yeah.
Okay, and
yes, we were at the exact same hospital.
And were you not worried, because I've seen reports about hospitals being attacked? The IDF alleged that the hospitals are keeping Hamas.
Yes. I mean the first day. Yeah. It was constant drones. The sounds of drones is unbelievable. We could not sleep. You cannot sleep. They were flying so low. You can hear constantly what it's like, and we can hear gunshots, gunfires, bombing, and all that. It was non-stop. But it was not to as extent as toward the later phase of the war. When we are in April, it was not that bad. It was bad, but it's not as bad as towards the end. Just over the last 4 months, it was absolute brutality. It's a brutal killing. It's a targeted. Some of these injuries, if you look back, they are all execution type injuries. These are not like we are doctors. When you see it, you can see from this the injuries. You can clearly say they are not injuries that direct attack. I mean, not like a sharp nails or things like that. These are like execution. Sometimes bullet, pointed so clear, bullet wound through and through. This execution type, and especially when you see young children, like 4, 5, 6-year-old children are being shot in the head, in the torso. These are all injuries in line, inconsistent with the execution. They are pure execution. These are not injuries in any form or shape as a result of collaterals. No, these are execution type injuries. Women, children, and they just it's all keeping with the ethnic cleansing. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you're saying that the IDF were executing
Yes.
Palestinians, including
Yes.
children.
Big time. Big time. If you listen to Victoria Rose, who is a reconstructive plastic surgeon, if you listen to some of her thing, and she will testify to that. All the doctors who went there, they all testify to that. When you see these injuries, you can tell you that these are all execution type injuries.
Okay.
Execution type injuries. They tell you to go from A to B, B to C, C to D. As they leave, they shoot. They said, "Oh, this is not safe. Go to safe zone B." They go there, then they shoot you. Some of the children and women are shot from the we call that they are called what is that name for that? Um, they are like a small um, like a drone sort of thing. They actually shoot from them straight into those who are walking.
Right.
So there are so many injuries, like so many patients who are paralyzed, who actually lost life from these things. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and part of it being funded by the UK government.
Yeah.
I know
UK and US.
UK.
UK, US, and Germany, and in fact, Germany is 100% responsible for what's going on. I mean, if you look back, Germans are the one who actually killed so many innocent, Jews. The whole Holocaust start there. Adolf Hitler and all that. And then they all expel the Jews from Germany into so-called Israel. Land of honey and milk. Yeah. And if you look back the history, I challenge anyone, go back and read the history. You will see where they came from. They are all the European migrants. Yeah. So today, the same people who once, killed, murdered these Jews, today now they are doing the exact same thing to the Palestinian. A lot of weapons that supply to Israel are by Germans.
Okay.
Germans, US, and Americans. And British. They are the one who is doing this.
Yeah, and I think certainly Germany and Britain are signatories to the International Convention against funding
Correct.
against terrorism and against genocide. I'm not sure about the United
Yeah.
States, but Germany probably is, and the UK
Yeah.
definitely is. Okay. Now,
UK and Germany, yes, are the signatory to the Roman Statute, but US is not. However, Rich, I always say that everything is good. Democracy all works when it suits them. When it doesn't suit them, it doesn't good for them. Yeah, I mean, thinking Germany says, I don't know whether you listen or not. German, one of the chancellors says that if Netanyahu arrives to Germany, they would not arrest him.
Yeah.
What do you make out of that?
Yeah. Well, it's one rule for them and one rule for us.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The democracy only works when it suits them. When it doesn't suit them, it doesn't work. So I have news for them. I do not respect the democracy either, because I think democracy is a laughing stock, to be honest with you. Because if anyone says that they can choose and blame and name whoever they want, it's just like calling a group of people who are fighting against the oppression and the genocide and the brutality are terrorists. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you define what terrorism is. Basically, you decide what you mean by who is innocent, who is terrorist. Yeah. So your definition changes when it suits you. So basically, the democracy is a total laughing stock because we do not respect own democracy. Look what had happened. People who have protested in Germany against the genocide, they were attacked, brutally attacked. Today, if I go, I'll tell you another example. Recently, I went to Frankfurt. I had my Palestinian kaifa around my neck. This immigration officer at the Frankfurt airport gave me a heck of a time because I was wearing that, asking all sort of silly questions. Why? Because I stand for what I believe is the right thing, the humanity. They can't stand it. They cannot stand it. These are ethno supremacist, people, and they still think that anyone else other than non-white are inferior. This is the reality.
Okay. What sort of I mean, how many hours did you work in the hospital? How many days a week? What were you dealing with? What was
Yeah,
that like?
it usually from morning to the evening, and often what breaks my heart is, Richie, it was between the month of Ramadan, because we were actually uh, 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 some of our colleagues who went before us during the before the Ramadan starts. When they go to the hospital, the Palestinian, I tell you something about Palestinian. It is something that beyond one's comprehension. They do not eat or drink unless you eat with them. So whatever the little food they have, they share with us. We were asking, how can you be not eating? You probably don't know. Maybe you bring this food that from your families and you share with us. It's not right. So what our colleagues did who went before us is they usually fast. Even though it's not a month of Ramadan, they used to fast just to make sure that they don't take their food. So when you fast, you don't have to eat. So that's exactly what happened. But for us, it's fine because it was a month of Ramadan, so we were fasting anyway. So this is exactly what had happened. So morning to evening we work, and some of my colleagues stay back in the evening, did on calls and whatnot. So yeah.
Okay, all right. And then, what sort of injuries did you treat? What age, were there any
So
particular age?
yeah, so mostly blast injuries that we treated. A few chronic cases, but mostly all the injuries sustained as a result of the war.
Was
So
it
all blast.
an
Yeah, yeah,
explosion, shots,
correct.
and any sort
Yeah.
of particular age group, or were you treating more
No,
women?
it's from as like, yeah, it's all age groups. Women, men, especially children from age 1 year to 15 year, 16 year. There's no age. They target everything and anything.
Right. And did you have any contact or any support from the Palestinian authorities?
Yes, because remember when you go inside the Gaza, you had to go through the Palestinian Minister of Health. So that coordination has to be done. So all that has to come as a coordination. Yeah, yeah. But we don't have a direct contact. It's all through organizations. Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. And I mean, what were some of the challenges that you faced?
So because challenges are the lack of instruments, lack of facilities, lack of medicine, lack of everything. The most basic human necessities are not there. Even the water is there's a scarcity of water. Most basic fundamentals for human existence is not there. Water, imagine that. Water.
No water in all.
Sometimes there are times you don't even have a water to scrub. You just wash your hand with alcohol. A lot of my colleagues, being still to this day, using alcohol just to clean your hand, because sometimes there's no water, there's nothing, there's no light, nothing. Sometimes we operate in absolute darkness
Jeez.
with the headlights on. This is worse, Richie, believe me, this is worse than Holocaust, because we were told when we were going into Gaza, you are going to a desert to operate. And you know what? When we went there, indeed, it was a desert. There was nothing, absolutely nothing. Now, I don't know what is even worse.
Yeah. And how long were you there for? When did you get back?
So we were for first mission. It was 2 weeks, from the beginning of April to the 13th of April.
Right. So is it you went for 2 weeks, come back, go again?
No. So I went and I came back, and then I went back again. Yeah.
And how long did you go back for a second time?
6 weeks.
Okay, so you spent a total of 8 weeks there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Total.
Okay. Any plans to go back again?
No, at the moment I don't have any plans, but inshallah I will at some stage. I will go. Obviously, I want to go and start the pediatric renal transplant program, which is very much I want to do it, because remember there are lots of thousands and thousands of children with a kidney disease who are on dialysis dependent. Some of these children probably have died now. They have a lot of kidney disease in among children in Gaza, because all the dialysis machines were all destroyed. There's nothing. So those who have kidney problems, those who are dialysis dependent, they all are dead. So actual number of death is, you have to look at as direct results of the war, and indirect results of the war. As a result of the war, that you cannot get into the hospitals because of the situation, because the lack of facilities, lack of everything, and difficulty of getting to the hospital, and they died as a result. So total number of, I think, I wouldn't be surprised when they start counting how many deaths. I easily think it's close to about 200,000 or more. Easily. No doubt. I have no doubt. Because all the people with the advanced chronic disease, they all died, or they're in the process of dying. Because there's no medicine. I mean, for the last 6 months, hardly anything went in. Hardly anything went in. And they would not allow to take anything.
They being the Egyptian authorities, the Israeli authorities?
The Israeli authorities, they would not allow anything to go in.
Okay. Now, if people want to support or do something for the people of Palestine who have suffered because of the war, is there anything that they can do?
Yes, I will always say that, well, there are many ways that you can support the Palestine. One of not everyone has to go to Palestine, to Gaza. No, you don't need to. You can boycott. You can continue to put pressure on those who have the power to make a difference, to bring a changes that is necessary to change the final outcome of this oppression. Yeah. So you can put pressure, you can boycott, you can do a lot of things. Yeah. And those who, and also support, donate, and support the organizations that doing the great work, like Fajar Scientific and whatnot. So there are various ways. In fact, we are also in the process of setting up our own charity very soon. Me and two of my colleagues, we are going to set up a charity, and then when it's up and running, we want people to, I'll of course come and speak to that point. We want people to come and donate so we can go around and help. I mean, it's not only Gaza. If you look back around the world, there's so much of poverty, health related issues that warrant our help. Because everywhere that the Western imperialistic government went in and stole and robbed other countries has left a misery there. That's all we see. When we go to work and we want to go volunteer, what we see is a misery. When you look back, the root cause of misery, why that is, because of the occupation. That's what it is. Look at my country of Sri Lanka. What a beautiful country it was. How resourceful, how rich it was once upon a time, before the British went, before the Dutch went. They went and they ripped the country off for 1,000 years. When there's nothing to steal, they leave. This is the legacy of British legacy. This is what they're talking about. British legacy of what they have done. This is what they have done.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now we're recording this on the 23rd of January, and I think since the weekend just gone, there's been a ceasefire.
Yeah.
The hostages exchange is happening. The hostages in the prison. Yeah. Any comment about that process?
Yes. So I would beg for everyone, all the international communities, to put the pressure on Israeli authorities to release all the healthcare workers of Kamal Adwan Hospital, especially our brother, brilliant pediatric doctor, Dr. Abu Safyan, who was brutally being tortured and illegally been holding with hundreds of other healthcare workers in one of the worst prisons in Israel for no evidence whatsoever. He has done absolutely nothing. All he did was, while he's been shot on his leg, you know what happened to Dr. Abu Sufyan? He was shot on the leg. They tried to kill him, but he escaped. And then they shot, and one of the bullet was piercing in his very close to his femoral artery, which is one of the big blood vessel going into supplying your lower leg.
Mm-hmm.
There were doctors want to go and operate Dr. Abu Sufyan, but Israel refused to send anyone to Kamal Adwan Hospital. Eventually, Kamal Adwan Hospital was bombed, destroyed, and all the healthcare workers was arrested. You probably have seen that photograph of Dr. Abu Sufyan walk between the army tanks toward the Israelis, yeah, as a brave Palestinian, yeah. Then he was arrested, tortured. To this day, he even would not allow a lawyer to go and visit him. What sort of humanity is this? What sort of a country is Israel?
Yeah.
Where is your humanity? Where is the humanity of for the international community? Where is it?
Yes.
Where is it? We talk about democracy. We talk about rule of law. What sort of rule of law? This is a total banana republic.
They're held without charge, without
Nothing.
trial,
Nothing.
without recourse to defense.
Nothing. Thousands and thousands and thousands of prisoners in Israel prison without any holding illegally in Israel. Look at those 3 girls that were released. Look at their health status versus Palestinians who are coming back to Palestine from Israel. Do you see the contrast difference?
Yeah.
Do you see it? This is the reality.
Yes. And I do want to draw a distinction between Zionism and Judaism. About a year ago,
that's totally different. Totally different.
Totally different. I did an interview with a rabbi who said to me that it made it really clear. He said, look, Judaism and Zionism are not the same. Zionism has made the world more dangerous for Jews. We are not safe in Israel. And he said him and his family actually left Israel when Israel was formed to come and live in the UK. And I said to him, well, what's your solution to that? And he said, one people. Jews and Christians and Muslims living side by side in one state. Like
for hundreds of years.
Iran, like in Iran, where you have Muslims and Christians living side by side. Yeah.
Correct. There was never ever issue. All this issue came when the Zionism was born. When the Zionism start, spring out. And why, if you look back, why the US is supporting Israel? Because of the lobbying group. So much of pressure. So anyone who wants to stay in the Oval Office has to support Zionism. Has to. So that has to be dismantled. If anyone wants to preserve the humanity and the values that we talk about, we talk about, we are very proud of talking about the humanity is the common fabric of who we are, our genes, our all that. These are all when I look back and I laugh myself. How come that the same fabric that you talk about does not apply when it's come to Gaza? We have a lot of double standards. I mean, look at Britain itself. What they try to do to all the you see, we have created the asylum seekers that come into Europe. Why do they come? Because of the Tony Blair and invade Iraq, illegally, without not a proof, not listening to anything. What happened to it? Julian Assange started talking about it, and he was put into prison. Tony Blair got the he's been knighted. He became a lord. This is exactly what is going on. And look at what they are doing to. They try to do to people. All the illegal immigrants, send it to Rwanda by the Home Office. What a disgrace! What a disgrace! They go around and create the chaos, and then they don't want to clean up the mess they created. This is the reality.
And the mess comes.
This is the reality.
Yeah, which is why I think it's so important for us, for people everywhere, to take a stand against war. Stand for peace.
Absolutely.
Peace for all.
Absolutely.
All humanity. Jew, Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Sikh, atheists, even everybody. We are all.
Yes, it's a humanity.
All humans, right?
Humanity before. I mean, if you go into some of these protests, some people don't believe in any religion. That's absolutely fine. But we all have one common thing among us: is the humanity, is the pain, is the sense of loss. We all have that in our heart, regardless who they are. Whether you are Muslim, whether you are Christian, whether you are Jew, whether you are Sikh, whether you are Hindu, we all should have that. We all should have that sadness when see someone is suffering. We all should get that lump in our throat when we're talking about this kind of horrific injuries that we have witnessed and we are continuing to witness in Gaza and beyond. And look what is going on in West Bank. West Bank is the same. Yesterday alone, a few days ago, 21 people were murdered in cold-blooded. This is what it is. Settlers go, set fires, and kill innocent Palestinians. So when is this going to stop? When is this country is going to wake up to the reality? We have to have serious wake up to what's going on around the world. Britain has a lot to answer for. America has a lot to answer for. Germany has a lot to answer for. But they are shying away from this answer and said, "Oh, it's the terrorists. We must destroy them." By any shape or form, I would not condone what had happened on 7th of October. Let me get that clear.
Mhm.
Okay, killing innocent people is wrong. Period. Period. You cannot kill innocent people. Okay, but we have to understand, when someone been oppressed, beaten, cornered, you have no way of doing anything but to fight back.
Yeah.
If you don't give your basic human right, you have no way but to fight back.
Yes, and just on that, Dr. Hiram, on the 7th of October, there is this country, Israel, which is surrounded by hostile nations and hostile people, which is incredibly technically
Yes.
well developed, which has advanced military capacity, surveillance, and defense systems, and
Yeah.
their border security was down, and it took them 7 hours or something to respond. That's all very peculiar. That's all
Very peculiar.
very
Very peculiar. And think about it. They said we have to destroy Hamas and this and that. Look what had happened a few days ago. Where all these vehicles come up? Absolutely not even a scratch. Where do they come from? Where are all these thousands and thousands of Hamas fighters coming up? I think Israel has a serious question to answer.
Yeah.
This is a failure, total failure. Israel failed. Israel as a state is failed. It's finished. If anyone think they can still continue to support it, they are totally wrong.
Well,
Totally wrong. Israel is gone, finished.
Absolutely. Well, the way I look at it is they've been a really, really bad neighbor. They've got a really,
Yes.
really bad neighbor, and they've pissed off all
Yes.
their other neighbors who've turned hostile, and that sort of situation cannot sustain in the long term. Just cannot sustain.
I mean, think about it, Rishi. Yemen is one of the poorest country. They've been bombed left, right, and center by Saudi Arabia for many, many years. Still, they are fighting for the support in solidarity of the Palestinian people of Gaza with a little whatever they have. And still, America, Britain, Germany, and all these so-called NATO countries go and bomb them. Still, they're standing firm. You can't. You cannot beat them. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. You can't. America also, as a country of country that maintain the peace around the world, as a country who has a saying about what is going around, they lost that credibility as well. No one trusts Americans. Absolutely not. No is Britain. No is Germany. They are absolutely most unreliable witnesses. Trust me. And also Western media is biggest hypocrites. Biggest hypocrites. They have fabricated and lied about October 7, and they made up stories that were to this day is not even proven and can't prove. There's not even a mustard seed of evidence to prove any of their claims, which is all fabrications.
Yeah, and
these are fabricated lies.
Yeah, just on that, one of the things that the media does, which is owned by the banks who profit from the military-industrial complex, is anybody who opposes the slaughter that's been happening in Israel and argues for a peaceful solution, they're anti-Semitic. And anybody who opposes slaughter in Ukraine, they're far right.
Correct.
So, and then people get fixated on, well, they're anti-Semitic, they're far right, and they miss dealing with the actual content.
You say, you say how hypocritical the Germany is. Now Germany is very much supporting Ukraine, but at the same regime who support Ukraine want to eliminate Gaza. So it is okay to support Ukraine, but not to support Gaza. How? Where is their logic?
Well, either way, they're profiting from the war. That's it.
Of course they do.
Profit from
of course they do.
Yeah.
I mean, Americans, Britain, they all profit. Their money, they keep their countries alive with the blood in their hand. Their hands are covered with blood. Rishi Sunak, KEYSTONE, David Lammy, they absolutely should be shamed. I mean, some of the comments that David Lammy had made even before he became the Home Secretary absolutely appalling. I can't believe. I'm sure David Lammy, who is a Home Secretary, came to this country. His ancestors came to this country as refugees. I have no doubt. Yeah. And today, look, the stance he has taken against the Palestinians.
Yes.
Appalling.
Well, one of the things,
Appalling.
Dr. Hiram, because we need to finish up soon. One of the things is that how the Labour Party is being bought by the Zionist, the pro-war lobby, and it's
Correct.
again, I just want to remind people it's really, really important. We have to stand for peace because we don't benefit from war. War distorts economies, it destroys societies, it destroys culture, it just completely distorts everything. So one of the ways is, go to bit.ly/make-war-history. Dr. Hiram, anything you want to say before we finish up?
Yes, I would like to reach out and pledge to the world, whatever you do, don't forget Gaza. We need to rebuild. This is going to take years and years and years, at least about 15 years. It cost, I think, from the assessment of the UN, they think it costs about 40 billion. Of course, this has to come through the government organizations and whatnot. But we as humans, we can support all these brothers and sisters in Gaza, our people in Gaza, humans in Gaza. So whatever you can do, do. Don't forget Gaza. Just because war ends does not mean the suffering ends. Not at all. Not at all. That suffering continue on. And Gaza has to be free. It has to be free. I am firm believer. It may happen or it may not happen in my lifetime, but I have no doubt Gaza will be free from river to the sea. No doubt about that. It will.
I would just say Israel has to be free. Israelis need to be free because right now the nation under siege versus a nation that's living a people living peacefully side by side with each other, because that's what we want. And I just want to say, I didn't mention this to you. My wife is Christian. My sister-in-law is Jewish.
Yeah,
we are a people of the book, and I'm standing in
absolutely
for all people. Dr. Hiram, thank you
so much for having Richie. It's an absolute pleasure talking to you, and let's see what we can do, and we'll take it from there.
Allah Hafiz.
Okay, Allah Hafiz. Bye bye now.